Star vs. the Forces of Evil was one of the few shows that had me hooked from the very first episode. The only other shows that managed to do that were Breaking Bad and Gravity Falls. I'm sure you read the title, so first of all, we will go through the good stuff. The show had a cute art style, manic energy, likable characters, lovable villains, and Toffee. There is something irreplaceably haunting about a well dressed gentleman with a calm voice and minimal expressions. Another thing I loved about the show was that it was a teenage show without teenage romance. Just ask someone who has read the Harry Potter books if this is what the Half Blood Prince adaptation was supposed to look like. I mean, for some reason, it takes a certain kind of talent to have two similarly aged, opposite gender protagonists in the same vicinity and not ship them. The only way you get away from this is if your protagonists are siblings. But not even this is safe from woke Hollywood anymore. Another 1000 IQ move the show pulled off was with the character of Tom. He was Star's demon ex boyfriend who comes back to reclaim her and, presuming Marco as his competition, kidnaps him to seemingly kill him. But instead of these two tweens playing tug of war for the third tween, we get a bromance between Marco and Tom playing ping pong in their man cave. Just two newly made bros chilling, talking about love and life, and raising each other up like the kings they are. Even with a foggy memory and over half a decade later, that episode is still my favorite. This much awesomeness early on made even the less socially acceptable parts tolerable in the show. That's about as much as I can recall liking from the show. Now on to the bad stuff. I don't remember much of what happened before Eclipsa. This is because I watched the show around the time the last season was airing, and I couldn't put myself through the pain and suffering again. But I still want to make this video. So, first of all, Eclipsa, the quote unquote bad queen. Eclipsa was more awesome when she was frozen in ice, unmoving, untalking, everything. The characters just talking about her made her a formidable final boss type of character. If she was going to succeed Toffee, the show actually made you believe that Eclipsa will be all that and so much more. But she just ended up being a nice aunt to Star. Plot twist, clever writing, shitty writing, I don't know. Now onto her demon husband, Globkor. Globkor is said to be a human-eating, fire-breathing maniacal monster hell-bent on sending everyone to hell. But he just ends up being a chill uncle, mostly in the background of the story. Eclipsa was frozen in ice because she ran off and married Globkor, and the people didn't accept that because wokeness didn't exist back then, and she with her husband ended up frozen as punishment. Now, I'm sure if you put two and two together, you can very obviously see that they were supposed to be an allegory for interracial relationships. But my main problem is that Eclipsa was a human and Globkor was a monster. That's not interracial, that's interspecies. This is not how you get caramel or Vaitian babies, but this abomination. The letdown of their characters being a red herring combined with the idiotic preaching made these two more or less a nothing joke. Now on to the ending. It just happens, and then the show abruptly ends. There is no catharsis, any sense or logic continues to elude us, and we don't get any deeper understanding of the world after it. We can't extract any new knowledge from it. The ending meant nothing. If I remember correctly, Star and Marco wanted to be together, and to complete her reparations quest, Star finds the core of the magic dimension and blows it up to destroy all magic and bring about peace and harmony, merging the human and human world together, while committing a soft genocide, but we don't talk about that. So that was the ending of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. A one spectacular show that tripped over its own self and then sped ran its own demise. Fans often cite shipping as the primary problem of the show, and I think all the in-between stuff that I cannot remember is spent on these ships. Maybe I will rewatch season 1 someday, but not more than that. Anyway, what do you think of Star vs. the Forces of Evil? Did you think the ending was even somewhat palatable? And what was your favorite ship from the show? Whatever it is, comment below to let me know, and like and subscribe for more. Okay, thank you.